Yo, what is up, everybody? It's your man, I Do It Barber here, back with another haircut tutorial. In this video, I'll be doing a mid-ball fade, more of a stretch mid-ball fade, using the detachable blades, a 3 on the top, 0 on the sides, of course, using the shaver. And you'll see in the video that this fade drops a little bit in the back, more to contour to his head shape and the size of his head. Very interesting video. I hope you guys learned a lot. Also, do not forget about January's giveaway. All of the details to that will be in the Shave Gel review video. Link will be down in the description below. But let's get into this haircut tutorial.
All right, so I have a confession to make. So before shooting this haircut tutorial, I was thinking earlier in the day, back when I used to watch old barber haircut tutorials, that they would sometimes say, oh man, sorry I didn't get this side of the footage or this side of the haircut or maybe the lineup, what have you, because their camera shut off and stopped working. Now I started cutting and didn't realize that the camera was not recording until I heard the camera click off, and then I turned it on. So fortunately you didn't really get to see me create the guideline. However, it's very simple. I just used my adjustables about a quarter of the way open and created that guideline you see there. And now I'm balding out with my Slimline Pro LIs. And these trimmers are zero gapped and modified. And now I'm clearing out that bald area with the shaver here. This is the Bronze Series 7. I did a comparison review video on this, the Bronze Series 7 versus the Andis Pro Foil. I'll leave a link to that video in the description below if you guys want to check that out, if you haven't seen it already. But it's getting extra balls, and I love the shaver because it doesn't take much to take out the trimmer line. I could take out that Bronze Series 7 line with my fake Supremes here, as you can see, or if not, I'll just use my Slimline Pro LIs. It'll erase the ball line easy. So now I just have my fake Supremes all the way open, creating my first guideline all the way around the head here. And as you see, there's a few spots in the back where it's a little bit darker, and later on in the video I have to give those areas more attention because the hair on the sides usually is more thin and not as dense as the hair in the back. So that hair on the side usually fades really easy. It takes no time to fade that hair, but that hair in the back requires a lot more attention, mainly because it's just more dense and more coarse. And also sometimes people have lumps or little contours in their head in the back there where you actually have to pay more special attention. So now I got the lever halfway closed, and I'm going up about halfway through there, maybe about 3/4 into that line, and slowly you'll see that line start to fade away as I knock down some of that. You can see there in the back some of those dark areas, but later on I'll pay more attention to those and get that area out. So now I closed up my lever on my fake Supremes. I'll leave a link to that video in the description below if you haven't seen my fake Supreme video. These are my award-winning fake Supremes, by the way. I used these clippers in the barber battle and won. It's actually kind of hilarious. It's in the vlog I did. I guess I'll also leave a link to that in the description below. And as you can see, that bottom line is coming out pretty easy. And I attribute that to really the bronze shaver because it's really hard to leave a harsh line with the Bronze Series 7, man. It's really hard unless you're really trying to leave a hard line. So now I'm just using my corners. I'm adjusting the lever, as you can see. And I'm just kind of going in a little bit and just attacking those few little areas in the back that's a pain in the butt. And I come back here with the shaver just because I see a little something. And this is what I usually do when I'm fading. I'll create my first line with the adjustables open, and then I'll knock out that area, because really, guys, there's two different parts to a blend. There's the 0 up into the 1 part of the fade, and then there's the second part of the fade, which is above the 1 into whatever length that you're trying to create up top. So I mean, this part of the fade that you see me working on could be perfect, but I could screw up the top half of the fade, which is the second part of the fade, or vice versa. You know, you could have the second part of the fade look good, but the bottom portion not be so good, meaning you may leave a bottom line, maybe it's not completely blurry as it should be. But now I have my number 2 blade on here, and I'm basically just clearing bulk, and I'm gonna let you guys in on a little something. I made a mistake in this haircut. I should have taken down his entire head first, meaning I should have cleared out all the bulk on the top of his head first and then came back with my 2, because you'll see later on I have to reconstruct his fade, but it still comes out good. And that's the thing about barbering, is you have to know what to do when you get in trouble. There are lots of times where you'll mess up something on a haircut, whether it's minor or major. The thing is, you actually have to know how to fix it and how to get out of whatever you put yourself into. So now I'm with the 1.5 going right underneath that 2, and as you can see, that area is lightening up, but you still see that line that I created with my adjustables open. And now I've got my 1A blade on, going right into that 1.5 area, and as you can see, that area is lightening up from that bottom line. And one thing for you guys to note, when I fade with the blades, you'll notice that I don't use the triple out, the OA, and the 1 blade. I like to use my adjustables for that. Now, the only reason I do that is because so I don't have to clean 3 extra blades when I'm done in between clients. It's much easier to just clean the pair of adjustables than those extra 3 blades. And as you can see, that bottom line that I created with the adjustables open is blending out. So now I'm back with my adjustables. Okay, now I switched to regular normal speed, and I'm trying to show you guys something. I'm using a technique that I call fanning. I'm not using the 1 blade, like I said. I just like to use my adjustables to blend into the 1A. So I'm fanning. I'm not having the clipper flush to the scalp. As you can see, it's kind of like at a stabbing angle, but I'm fanning the hair. As you see, that line just disappeared. So now I'm just back to working out that line, just trying to blur out that area. I could have easily put a 0 guard on, but I'm just here to show you in this haircut tutorial, and you'll probably see me do it in other haircut tutorials, that you don't necessarily need to use a 0 guard. You could use different techniques in whatever you figure out in your fading techniques to get around using certain guards. So sometimes you don't need a 0 guard, sometimes you don't need a 1 guard. You know, you can make it work if you know how to angle the clippers, you know how to use the clippers at certain angles. So now I'm taking the bulk down with a 3.5. Mainly, and actually one of the reasons why I didn't use the 3.5 in the beginning to do it, because I was thinking about talking him into doing a 3 3/4, which is almost like a 4 on top, but we decided to do the 3.5. So it's actually also kind of why I didn't do it in the very beginning. So now I've got my 2 blade on there, and I'm clearing out the head on his ridge. So now I'm trying to blend it, and the thing is, he's thinning on top. As you could probably see, his hair on top is a little bit thinner than his hair through the ridge. So that's also why I waited a little bit to take down the hair on the top. So now I'm just trying to match his hair and get it down low enough to where you can't distinctly tell that he's thinning on the top. So I'm just going in, just trying to match it and make sure his head looks completely even. You can't really see that there is much thinning going on. And that's one thing with fading, guys, you have to remember, is that sometimes you have to create the illusion that he's not thinning, or give the illusion that he has a full head of hair. So as you see here, you could probably, for those experienced people out there, you could probably see that in the front, on the top, he's thin in there. But if you could take the hair down low enough, it can give the illusion that he isn't. So like if I left a 3 all the way through the ridge around his hair, you definitely would be able to tell that he's thinning, because hair through his parietal ridge would be much more dense and much more coarse than the hair on the top. So, you know, this is just what we're dealing with right here. So now I'm looking through the viewfinder because I don't have a mirror here, and I'm just making sure this fade is blurry. I see a few little dark spots that I'm just trying to knock out, and make sure the fade is extra tight. Now I'm about to line them up, just keeping it real simple on this lineup, just not going too far back, just creating them a nice little edge up, and just keeping it real natural. It's real simple. He has a very simple edge up. On that other side there, he does have a patch in his hair, so I just kind of had to create a little ghost line. But on the front here, I'm just taking off the hairs that hang over, and on that left side of his hair there, I had to do a little ghost lining because it's a little bit thin there. I didn't want to go back into his hairline. And here's the thing, some clients may say, hey, go back into my hairline, and then some clients will say, no, just ghost line it. But if they just leave it to your discretion, definitely do not push your client back. It is not worth it, especially if they're thinning. It really, even if they're not thinning, it's not worth it to push them back just to give them a crispy line. And as you can see here, I'm just tightening up some of the bottom portions of the fade. But you can see it's pretty good fade. And this is a stretched mid fade. You know, I could have brought it a little bit higher, but as you can see with his head shape and his head size, it's better that I brought his fade down just a little bit lower to complement his head shape and his head size. And that's the cut. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Browse the channel if you haven't done so. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't. I have a lot more great barbering content on the way, and there's enough on the channel too, so go check it out.